Hello everybody, it's Nick here with Nick Tolman Music, and today we are going to continue our beginner guitar lesson series using Mel Bay's Modern Guitar Method Grade 1. Today we are going to be looking at page 31, and page 31 is a little bit different than any of the pages we've seen so far. It's more instructional than anything. Alright, so there's not really exercises on here for you to do. It's really just explaining a concept and something that we need to be aware of. Page 31 is titled The Key of A Minor. And what it's doing is it's introducing you to the concept of minor keys. Now, we've talked about key signatures in the past. Way back early in the lessons, I have a separate video that talks about the staff, and we introduced the idea of a key signature. And a key signature is just a thing at the beginning of the staff that tells you what notes are going to be used throughout the song. But what it's doing is it's really telling you what key the song is in, okay? There are different types of scales or keys that we might be using for a given song. And the two that we use the most often are what we call major or minor. Now, a major and a minor scale sound differently. Almost everything we've played in the book up to this point has been in the key of C major. And the key of C major is significant because there are no sharps and there are no flats in the key of C major. If you were to play from C to C all on a piano and just push white keys, that's what a C major scale is. It's just all white keys, right? There's no black keys involved at all. There's no sharps or flats. So C to C on the guitar, C major scale. Right? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Ti, Do. That's a major scale. Okay? We're familiar with that sound. We also have what are called minor scales. And for every key signature that is associated with a major scale, there is what we call a relative minor scale. So a minor key that has the same key signature. And for the key of C, the relative minor would be A minor. So A minor is just like C major in that there are no sharps and no flats in A minor. If I were to play from A to A using no sharps or flats, still all white keys on the piano, it would sound like this. It's going to sound different, right? We're using the same scale essentially, but we're starting on a different note, ending on a different note, and it sounds like this. So A to A. Definitely a different sound. In general, we associate major keys with kind of a happier, brighter sound, and minor keys with a darker, maybe a more sad or pensive type sound. To know what the relative minor scale is for any major scale, it's really easy. You just go to the 6th note of the major scale to know what it would be. So again, we're back to C major. We're going up the scale to C major. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm on the 6th note of C major. What's that note? Oh, it's A. That is the relative minor. Okay, so whatever note you land on the 6th note of a major scale, that would be the relative minor scale. Let's try that on a different key. So maybe I'm in the key of G, playing a G major scale, which we haven't learned in the book yet. Same concept though. So G major scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6th note of a G major scale would be E. So E minor would be the relative minor to G major. Let's look at this really quickly. So when we look at minor scales, the thing that's kind of unique about minor scales is that we have different versions of a minor scale. Now, the book is showing us this, and it shows us the 3 different versions of a minor scale. The first being a natural minor, and it says in parentheses pure. I don't really. Maybe I've just missed out on this, but I've never actually heard someone call it the pure minor scale. Generally, we just call it the natural minor. And what that means is that it is what it is. It's just an A minor scale, A to A, no sharps or flats, just like we talked about. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. That is an A natural minor scale, okay? Sometimes we do things in minor keys that make us have to kind of change the scale that we use. And it usually has to do with the type of chords that we're using underneath of the melody. So we have this other type of minor scale, and it's called a harmonic minor scale. And you'll notice that there is one note different, and it's the 7th note. And what we've done is we have raised it by a half step. If you take any minor scale, you go to the 7th note, bump it up 1/2 step, you will have a harmonic minor scale. It sounds different. So here's what the harmonic minor scale sounds like. Now again, the reason that happens is because in a natural minor setting, you would have a chord associated with every note of the scale, and the 5th note of that scale, or the 5th chord, would naturally be E minor. Okay? Now, it's very common to make that E minor chord an E major chord, or like maybe an E7 chord, but make it more of a major chord style. And what that does is it changes the sound, but it also changes the type of note that you have to play over it, because an E major chord is going to have a G sharp in it rather than a G natural. So if I was going to play that same progression that I just did, that's different, and that would require me to play a G sharp instead of a G natural in the A minor scale. That's why we have a harmonic minor scale, okay? Now when we look at the 3rd type, we have a melodic minor scale, and this one is a little bit different. It is kind of interesting, and again, it has to do with the type of chords that are taking place underneath in all the music theory. And we're not going to dive too much into this one and why it is the way it is. We're just going to show you that it exists and what it is. So, melodic minor scale, what's going to happen is you're going to take the 6th and the 7th note, both the 6th and the 7th note, and you're going to raise them up 1/2 step. Similar to the harmonic minor scale, but we're raising the 6th and the 7th note. But we're only doing that on the way up the scale. Then when we go back down the scale becomes a natural minor scale again. That is a melodic minor scale, and it sounds different. It sounds like this. Okay, so that is the A minor scale explained. If you have any questions about that, please just comment below, and I'll do my best to answer your questions for you. And then lastly here on page 31 is it teaches us 3 new chords that we are going to use in the key of A minor. All right, so it teaches us an A minor chord, which we see is... as far as fingering goes, our first finger is going to be on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. Our second finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And our 3rd finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. We're going to make something clear right here. And this is, I don't know why the book introduces it this way, but the A minor in general, as a standard A minor chord, you are not going to strum the low E string. I know it shows open on there and it even shows the note down there. Now, an E, a low E, fits in the chord. E is one of the notes in A minor, but that is not your standard A minor. The standard fingering for the chord, you will omit the 6th string. You will not strum it. You will just strum the top 5 strings. If for some reason we were playing an A minor with an E in the bass, then yes, we would do that. But for the norm, the A, the low A, is going to be the root and the bass note. Now for A minor, getting used to that fingering, one of the things I like to do is I like to think of it in association with C. So if you take a C chord, to go to A minor, all you have to do is move your 3rd finger. That's it. The other 2 fingers stay in place. You just take that 3rd finger off and tuck it up underneath the 2nd finger, and you're good to go. So again, you have a C chord, your 3rd finger is on the 3rd fret of the A string. You're going to take that off. You're going to put that finger on the 2nd fret of the G string. And you have an A minor chord. Okay? Alright, so the next chord that it teaches us is D minor. D minor. And for fingering, our first finger is going to be on the 1st fret of the 1st string on F. Our 2nd finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string on A, and our 3rd finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string D. And this one is the same problem as A minor. The standard strumming for D minor will not strum the 5th string. It will only strum the top 4 strings. Similar to the F chord that we did before. Okay. Again, that low A is a note in a D minor chord, but it's not normally the bass note. Okay, normally the bass note would be the root, which is D. So get in the habit with D minor of just strumming the top 4 strings. Alright, and lastly we have E7. And there's nothing wrong with the chord diagram or how it presents E7 on this one. Pretty straightforward. It's a very simple chord to play. You're going to have your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and you're going to have your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, and you will strum all 6 strings for E7. Good. Those 3 chords together can make up a nice chord progression in the key of A minor. In fact, it's the chord progression that I was playing earlier. Alright, so thank you for tuning in today. Stay tuned for our next guitar lesson. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.